Welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever felt like you're just kind of waiting around for a lucky break to show up? Well, today we're going to break down this incredible idea that suggests we don't just wait for opportunities, we actually create them with our own thoughts. We're diving into this whole concept, inspired by the work of speaker Tiago Brunet. Okay, let's start with something super relatable, something I bet has happened to every single one of you. You start thinking about, say, a red Jeep, and then all of a sudden you're seeing red Jeeps everywhere. So did thousands of new red Jeeps just magically appear on the roads? Or is something way more interesting going on? Something that tells us a deep truth about how our focus literally shapes the world we see.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into the core principle of how your thoughts create opportunities. Then we'll look at a really cool modern analogy, the spiritual algorithm. After that, we'll see how this idea has been around for ages. And finally, the best part, we'll talk about how you can actually use this to program your own future.
All right, let's jump right into part one. This is the foundational idea, the direct link between what's going on in your head and the actual path your life takes. So what's the big idea here? It's this. Whatever you think about consistently generates the opportunities that shape your destiny. Now, this isn't some magic trick where you think about $1 million and it just falls out of the sky. It's about how your focus, whether it's on good things or bad things, literally creates the doorways, the chance encounters, and the situations that your future gets built on. And get this, it is a total double-edged sword. If you're constantly focused on growing your business, boom, you start seeing potential partners and deals you never even noticed before. But on the flip side, if someone's mind is always dwelling on thoughts of cheating, they'll start to notice situations where that becomes a real possibility. Your focus isn't just a passive observer, it's actively priming you for what to look for in the world. Okay, so how does this actually work? Well, what's really cool is we can understand it using something we all deal with every single day, an algorithm. The idea here is that our lives operate on a kind of spiritual algorithm. Just like your social media feed, it's paying attention to what you give your focus to, what you click on with your thoughts. And what does it do? It starts serving you up more of the same, not as videos or posts, but as real-life opportunities. I mean, think about it. It's a perfect comparison. Your clicks and your likes tell YouTube exactly what to show you next, right? Well, according to this view, your thoughts and your attention do the exact same thing for your life. They're the input, they're the data that tells this spiritual algorithm what kind of opportunities to bring your way. Now, you might be thinking this all sounds a little bit new agey. But what's wild is that this isn't a modern self-help idea at all. It's a principle with super deep roots in ancient wisdom, especially in biblical texts. This ancient proverb just cuts right to the chase. As a man imagines, so is he. It's not just about who you are right now, it's about creation. What you consistently picture in your inner world becomes the literal blueprint for your outer world. So powerful. And the story of Jonas is like a perfect case study of this in action. God gives him a clear mission, go to Nineveh. But what is Jonas's mind completely obsessed with? Escaping, fleeing to a city called Tarshish. That's all he's thinking about. And so what happens? He goes down to the port, and the very first opportunity that pops up is a ship heading directly to Tarshish. See? His thought literally generated the opportunity for his escape. And then you see the dark side of the same principle. Look at Job, who in the middle of all his suffering said, "Everything I feared has come upon me." His fear wasn't just a passive feeling. It was a powerful, intense form of focus. And according to this principle, that constant, grinding focus on loss is exactly what attracted the very disasters he was so afraid of. Okay, so if this system is real, if our thoughts really do create our opportunities, that's huge. It means we can stop being passive recipients of whatever life throws at us. We can actually become the programmers of our own future. So the big question is, how do we do it? Well, the Apostle Paul actually gives us what's basically a user manual for our minds. He doesn't just say, think positive. No, he gives us a very specific filter. He urges us to intentionally focus our thoughts on things that are true, honest, just, pure. Basically, to curate the content of our minds just as carefully as an algorithm curates a social media feed.
So, how do we put this into practice? It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you imagine. You create that clear, vivid picture in your mind of what you want. Second, you focus. You pour your attention into that vision and you deliberately starve your fears of that same attention. And finally, and this is so important, you declare it. You use your words to pull that vision out of your head and anchor it in the real world.
I love this analogy. This is such a great way to think about it. Your thoughts, your imagination, that's the steering wheel. It points the car where you want to go. But you can point the car all day long and you won't move an inch until you hit the gas. Your words and then your actions, that's the accelerator that actually moves you down that road.
And this quote right here adds a final, really encouraging layer to the whole thing. The idea is that when you use your focus to generate the right kind of opportunity, the universe, or God, also provides the resources to make it happen. The open door is a sign that the key is already in your pocket.
And that brings us right back to you. This isn't just some interesting theory to think about, it's a challenge. If your thoughts are really the architects of your opportunities, then the only question left is, what are you going to choose to build?